Hey everyone, Felipe Vieira here, designer and front-end engineer with over 15 years of experience. I'm back today to start a really cool video series where I'll teach the best practices for development using Bolt and V0 to create a product. We will develop a product from scratch, from building it to deploying it and making it functional for the end client. I plan to use an IDE based on Visual Studio Code called Cursor. You will be able to download and install it on your machines. It is also based on artificial intelligence, but it works a bit differently from what we've seen in the market for Visual Studio Code extensions for coding. Okay. Usually it's a little chat that opens up and provides autocomplete and so on. Cursor is a bit more complete. Okay. And I will use the most free type of tool to do all this development, okay, to avoid costs for anyone. But as a tip, it will be much faster if you acquire some type of paid version, for example. The course costs $20 per month, okay, to have a bit more input and solutions from it, okay? Otherwise, it becomes very slow and everything. You can do it with the normal free version, but it will take more time to complete the software, okay? If you pay the $20, then it has some quick requests, right? After that, you have the option to pay indefinitely, okay? It should close the month and renew, so you won't be without the use of the cursor. The cursor will be an indispensable tool for those of you who want to pivot a product, right? As a senior front-end developer, we always have that friend. And everything who comes up with a crazy idea to become a millionaire and all, and the guy is super invested in the idea, but no one buys it, because in his mind, it makes a lot of sense. He can't sell the idea very well, and we as developers hear this all the time, We don't pay much attention. So this series of videos is very much directed at people who don't code, okay? And the people are beginners. They are coding because it will be a version, very much like an initial user. Like if you don't know how to code, it's not a problem. As we evolve the product, you will pick up some tips and everything, okay? If you also want me to make a series on how you can learn to enter the programming career and everything, I can make a series of videos on how I learned from scratch to reach the level I am today, which is Fluency Engineer. Okay. Leave a comment here, okay? If you like the content, leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike so we know, right? If you are enjoying it and everything, leave suggestions here in the comments about what you want to see or what I didn't cover in this first video. I believe it will be a series of videos. I believe that with 6 videos, we can cover everything, okay? I will try to divide it in the best way possible. So let's start right away without further delay. This is what we have here. What did I think, folks, for us to do? To create a software that is not too complex, but also not a to-do list, because everyone makes a to-do list. When they are learning programming, everyone makes a to-do list. What I think would be cool for us to see is how it could be. What I thought, if you want to suggest another type of software, you can put it here, and I'll see if it's worth changing or not. But what I thought, many people at the beginning of their careers and so on are applying for development jobs and everything, but the CV is that basic CV downloaded from LinkedIn and everything, so it ends up being kind of, I don't know, not very attractive to the recruiter, because the recruiter usually receives a very large range of resumes, especially through LinkedIn, like 800, 1,000 applications. So you have to stand out in some way. A well-crafted CV is one way to stand out. One of them, it's not the only one, but it already gives you an advantage. So I thought, let's create a software that converts LinkedIn profiles into a service in PDF format. We are going to create the interface and everything else. We will also have this PDF conversion format. I don't know if it's worth working with a database right now. If you think it's a good idea, comment here and I'll create the database module. Or we could create a history of generated resumes and save it in the browser. It's a slightly easier way to do it, and I think it will be nice for you. Everyone who accesses ViewWeb will be able to save their CV and the generated versions locally. This scope isn't very well defined yet. As we develop, we might change something here or there, but the idea is to create a CV generator based on LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile. So let's get started. I will also be discussing some good knee practices for developing with VU and Bolt. First, we're going to create all these software have versions that I will show. There are free versions that you can use. You create an account on Figma, figma.com, register there with your Google account and everything, and create a new document. This is the tool we will use to roughly design what we want to guide Bolt and V0. The first step when we have an idea, all right, we are going to build the LinkedIn profile. All right, we search on Google. Here it is. Here's another example. We search on Google for an image of some service or something that already exists today, okay? But what is important for us? What is important for us is the final format of the CV and a nice interface. What did I think of doing? A drag and drop there of information can be a Word document, because sometimes you have a CV in a Word document and not a LinkedIn profile. So we can do both and have a little field for you to put your LinkedIn profile or export the PDF and inject it there. I believe that the PDF is better because then we can already implement the logic to read a PDF, generate the PDF and download it, you see. So let's do that. So we will have a drag and drop there. We will upload the PDF, it will process it, and it will generate the resume for us. Another important thing that happens with these people, and that is their first opportunity in the development field, and everything else, is that we need to create a personalized CV. Why? Depending on the technologies that the person is asking for in front-end, if they ask for React and you put in your CV that you have experience with Angular, they will already choose someone who has experience with React, you see. So we can include the job disclaimer as an option there. Let's go to the job disclaimer here. Based on this, it will generate something different for us in each CV to make it dynamic. We can use OpenAI to do this, but we will need that case there. How does the OpenAI case work? You create your developer account there, and you will have to put some money there. I think the minimum, if I'm not mistaken, is $10. And those $10 last a lot. If you are AI enthusiast and so on, like to use LLM local and everything, I believe it is feasible. You do this or use the open router. One of the two. So let's get started. Let's put here the CV generator and the flow link of an OY, the X design, Y. Every time you already have a service the same. So you have an idea, guys. Always search on Google for something similar to your idea to see the strengths and weaknesses. And it's worth it for us to create a product on top of it and everything, right? We have this enhance. CV. Here we're going to take a look. Summary there. Or okay. And here we have dribble. It's just stuff from while X, which is design. So let's take a look at dribble. This is for us to see products that are currently running. Then we choose images. Why? Because then we will also see the interfaces, right? And very important thing here is that we can do the prompt for Bolt for VEO in two ways. We can sketch how we want. Okay. I will show the sketch here, and I will also show the version with a slightly more refined AI than usual. Those who are starting from scratch won't know how to use Figma very well and so on. There is a lot of free content about Figma. But it's basically a little vector Photoshop. It's not very difficult to understand and use. So here you put your LinkedIn, ask it to summarize, and it does it for you. And here are several examples. See, here we already have examples of how we could do it. You understand? Good. And they use GPT as well. Cool. Here is a free one, which is because I have the dark mode and everything stays in dark mode. And you can change export to docs, txt, and I share a link. To generate the online version, you just share the link. You can also do this personally on our platform. Then there are the little templates, cool. You see that it's all more or less the same, right? It's a common idea, especially abroad. People use services like this a lot, so here it's fine. Then it creates a skeleton. Edit. You can edit. Oh, how nice. Is there a little summary? Then he clicks and edits. I think we can do something more or less in this style. What do you think? It will take a bit more work, for sure. Then there are the stats, right? I think it's not necessary. In this first version, an important thing about developing this product is for you to have an idea. First, you have the idea. You compare it with what's available in the market to see the weaknesses that the market can't solve, and work on your idea based on the weaknesses, and make that the core of your first version of the app. We always launch the first version of our app with the competitive edge and the minimum possible. For us, we launch quickly and test it in the market to see if people will use it or not. It's the famous MVP. And this screen of mine here went choo-choo. All right. So I like this guy. I don't know if you guys liked it, but I did. Let me see if there's the static of the version, which is this guy here. Import to liquid, okay? Let's see the images here. Oh, this is that one, editor. I think we could make a slightly simpler screen. Look, resume builder. This one seems to be a drag and drop. On Behance, Behance also has a lot of design stuff. It's from Adobe. A lot of visual stuff. There, a template that we can take a look at to have a base. Let me remove the black here too to see how the sign is. All right. I didn't really like it much, to be honest. No, not at all. These colors, this color palette is interesting. A little blue, right? All right. So what did I say about the two formats we can make? We click here on frame, okay? And we will make a desktop. It will create a screen of the first fold here of any site, usually this size. Then we can make the famous wireframe, which is basically more or less a draft of the screen. So we will have a welcome text to welcome to our tool. Welcome to, let's see how we can call it CV Express. I'm not going to talk about CV Express. That's a very good name, but CV Express, this will be like a disclaimer, okay? Let me just remove it too. Apply it everywhere, man. It's going to be annoying. It will be. All right, I'll set a size here, and we will center it. You don't need to have high fidelity with this. If you press Ctrl-D, you duplicate this guy, and we need to duplicate it because here a summary comes in, okay? Convert now. Sailing. Eden. In a PDF. Resume. In seconds. All right. So what we're going to do here, it's a smaller font, right? No. Need to select to change the color, the size, it's all good. You see that it marks here that it's centered. See? Released it. So what we're going to do is create a rectangle. Let's make a border here of 5 pixels. It will round the corners, okay? The interior we can leave just a little lighter. We're going to give it a stroke. Stroke is what it is. The border is... and 1 as well as set to the outside, to the exterior. And then we click here. Okay, we're going to choose the dash because we want dotted lines. to show that inside here is a drag and drop area, okay? We can also delete it if we want. The gray background doesn't have a problem. So here, usually the logo goes, or otherwise we can also press Ctrl D. It's behind, see, I duplicated, it's here. Behind this white square, we have to right click and select bring to front to bring it to the front. And here we usually use a slightly lighter gray, okay? And we use this gray also on this guy here, okay? Everything will be ready, great. This here is called the airframe, okay? We can use this guy also to make our first template, okay? Or we can create a really nice one and everything because it will be more accurate. And let me see how the first fold of this car is here. And it's the video. It's what we do. We take a screenshot, okay? Copy. You can paste here in Figma as well. Untitled CV. What are we going to do? Selected. Export this guy here as PNG. We are going to save this guy on our computer, okay? This guy too. This guy doesn't really need it. Let me open something else. All right. Then, second step, we do GPT free. You can open it there, do what I'm doing. Okay, what are we going to ask it? You can speak as if you were at a congress, don't think. I'm thinking about what we want to do. I want you to generate a ready-made explanatory to build a web app with React that we are going to use without TypeScript to not complicate things too much for you. Using Tailwind, which is the CSS framework for us to use, and Shad, CNY, which is also a component library. Okay, so VO uses it to build a web app with React without TypeScript, all right? Where I can drag a PDF exported from LinkedIn into it, and it generates another PDF with different format and styling. Also, using the text input where the user can paste the summary of the desired job for that service. So, based on this, you will take the user's data from the PDF, from LinkedIn, and shape the sections of the generated PDF to match the job position. We make an example. In my LinkedIn CV, I know React, Node, Angular, Vue, Tailwind, Material, of text. The posted job requires React in Material. So in the description part of my profile, I emphasize my expertise in these areas but remembering that I have to have them in my LinkedIn profile first. Okay, because I know there, the guy asks for COBOL, for example. I don't know COBOL. I put there, I'm smart. I'm very good at COBOL. It doesn't make sense. You have to take what's in the CV and embellish it, you understand? So that's what we're talking about. What else did we talk about this feature? The generated CV must be editable directly in the browser and have a button to save it in PDF format or save it in HTML and generate a link for it. You should save everything locally. Storage, which is locally there on the guy's machine in the browser. What else can we do here? Asked him. I think that's it. Well, then generate this prompt for me. So I can put it in Bolt in Vero for them to generate this interface. The interface will also have a theme. Default, dark, slate, and can be white if the user chooses. So define a color palette. Ideal for a corporate environment. Great. Now let's see what it will write for us. Look there. It creates a web apps, Zendaps, WebAlk, and components. To customize it, the interface allows the user to drag and drop a PDF, export the liquid, burst at the time, and generate a new PDF based on it. In the job summary, inform the space for the user, follow the space below, import and extract data, create a spider for the user to import their PDF, extract the data from their PDF. Content help analysis, provide a text input field where the user can paste the job summary for which they are adjusting their resume. A job page with the information attracted good. Customization, beauty, theme, personalization. Beauty, local storage. What did I forget here? There will also need to be a section 2, add a law of opinion there, and then for it to perform this generation using artificial intelligence. So this needs to be set as a configuration because the key is needed there to generate, right? Otherwise, it won't generate. We will have to write how it would generate. It will generate again because we do this, folks, because it is writing in a way that the AI understands better than we do wrote. Right there, you understand so much so that we wrote directly here for the ChatGPT, and it converted this into a slightly better format, okay? Good. Yeah, I think that's it, right? It even suggested a library. All right, we are going to copy this guy, okay? And we are going to our Bolt. It's better for this because it's a system, okay? We're not creating a page, we're creating a system, so Bolt is better, okay? Let's paste here. What we're going to do. We are going to also paste the image. It doesn't copy and paste. How nice. Or can we just export this guy here? Look. We can take what we can do. For this first page, we can make it like a template. So what do? We can use Visio first. To create this first part, okay. I need to log in because V0 tends to look nicer, okay, than Bolt if we need it.
You weren't supposed to run. You're running. Don't start eating things, no. Use the images as a base, but create something better with the interface animation. Analysis is ready. It was our first prompt. Now let's see how it will generate. Okay, folks, so a recap. We took a look at the market, checked out the designers, and roughly concluded how we wanted this first part, sent it to the GPT site. It summarized it. We put it here. This is the first flow, okay? The folks also asked how to take what's here and code it on the machine. A lot of people end up getting lost in this part, so we're going to do this here as well. I mentioned the tough part of V0. Even though it's better, it generates everything in one thing. Just one file, you see, so it's difficult to scale. I'll check if it crashed. Cool. That we have settings. Look there. I have here nice. Cool. We have here the black and white theme. Yeah. What is this here? I didn't understand. Then it generated this guy here. Is where we are going to do. I liked it. So let's use this as a base. We are going to copy this guy here. I already have just an initial skeleton. Cool, let me see. I just think he did it in next. Used USE client and used TypeScript TSX. Let's see if it converts for us there in Bolt, okay. Well, from here it will separate, it will do everything correctly, okay. It's using Radix. Radix is a raw library of components with usability. Okay, it's not very focused on being pretty, design, needing to be cool and nice. Then it finished generating here. Let's see what it did more or less here. He created an OpenAI file. Client, all right. He created like an API similar to the GPT response. Are you seeing it respond in JSON? With these keys, matching skill suggestions here, the red experience, he's using GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is the cheapest. Okay. Let's see the PDF. The PDF is to extract content from the PDF. All right. And tools. But here he is using TypeScript. You see TS. This is for because of Chad. CN needs to have this utils here. Here, TSX mixed. You see TSX with JX? Ideally, you shouldn't mix. But he created a tsconfig. That's config.load. It must be because of the API. All the components of Chad CN are there. Preview, job, description, phaser, hooks, toast. That's what appears in that little notification, you know. Cool. Start prompt. Because he's doing this, let's see the app. He has two apps, TSX and JSX. I'll talk to him. You duplicated something. I asked without TypeScript, but for example, you generated app JSX, the correct one, and generated app.tsc, which is not what I asked for. Take a look and remove the TypeScript. Yeah, I wonder. And not TypeScript. So delete the wrong files. See, it duplicated. There's the main .dicex from app.tsx, from app.jsx. Then we have utils.ts, usetoast.ts. This isn't right. It's ts.javascript. We want JS. JavaScript is redoing. Now it's complaining that there's no app.tsx because it's jtsx, which the file that is it. There's no app.tx from main tsx, so we go to main tx and change it here. Look, we want jtsx. Another error. Let's see the error. Let's see toast. This file, which is part of the app.jsx, is currently present and accounted for in the system. It serves its purpose effectively. So let's measure useToast components, or iUseToast. In order to accurately and effectively understand its functionality, there is useToast here. There's no toaster toast. UseToast, it's hooks, not a component. See, it's in hooks useToast, TS. So we have to put hooks. The visitor. The one I have, which gave preview. Job description also asks for this guy. We copy here, look. It's written, there's no way to. We use the correct one. Okay, it went up. There's a little pause here, right? We are going to talk. The main layout is bad. It's all in the corner. And there are icons that don't load the theme switch part. Light and dark don't work. Here's the image of how messed up it is. Let me take a screenshot here, look. I'll show it to him. It's messed up. He sees more or less where he needs to change and alter. He's working on a part of the Tailwind CSS, defining some colors and a border style. He's working on the local storage part there, right? Saving the local options, storage. Later we will organize it in a better way. Okay, the first steps are for him to properly set up the framework there. So we don't have so much manual handling, especially for those who aren't very familiar with coding, right? The more we can automate and start with a good starter, the better. And he summarized everything that was done. Let's just see if it looks a bit more presentable. Nothing is loaded, folks. If it doesn't work with INTSX and PJSX, yet it's still a bit messed up with these things, then it's not a problem. Alright, it turned out perfect, but the icons have already been fixed. See, just check if I'm not lying. Guys, I want to see how things are going. There. All right. Okay. Light and dark themes working. All right. This will be the first video. Okay, we've already hit almost 40 minutes. Okay. And in the next video, we will check the functionality. Okay. If we upload a PDF here, if it's okay or not. Okay, it will probably be so-so. Okay, all right. Let's do the test. Otherwise, you won't get anxious. And I too. Let's see, right? Sometimes it's not ready yet because we can refine it a bit, right? Check the profile. This is where you save, okay, resource, save as PDF, all right? It's saved there. Let's see, click here. It's not doing anything. Click on the link. Profile. Yeah. I think, folks, that it's not working at all. Hey, let's see what happened here. No, it's just not triggering the convert. Okay, but we first need to set up OpenAI there so it can do the intelligence and, right, do the conversion and everything. Okay. So, all right, that's it for this video. Okay. Then, in the next video, we will start exactly from here. I won't do anything behind the scenes. We will do everything live. Okay. Because something might happen along the way, which could happen to you as well, right? So it's good for everyone to be in sync. Okay. So thanks, everyone. See you next time. Goodbye. Thanks.